Robina.
Good morning, members of the 4th East State. We welcome you to the media center. We welcome you to the media center. As you know, the media center is a platform for people to express their views. We are neutral. We welcome everyone who may want to address press conferences. So today we have Comrade Kandishona, Kandishaya and his team. I think he is, today he came with a big team. The last time he would come alone. So I think he has been growing. So we welcome him to the media center.
You are, I think, from this one, I'm a pressure. Nasi tauya kuzotaura nemi as Zimbabwe Citizens Forum. You all know me from way back. I think I must be a shareholder of Zimbabwe Media Center because Takaiba life a very long time. But today I am flanked with a team of these comrades. I will give them an opportunity to run my introductions, starting from my brother on the far left. Just your name, where you are coming from.
I'm in a big company, the Community Chief. I'm the current president, Chile University of Technology.
Thank you.
I'm Bishop Kevin Nyamakana. I'm the leader of Gatekeepers Prayer Movement in Zimbabwe, in the Scissors Movement as well.
I'm Opmar Pandika. I'm the National Chairman of Village Aids for Culture, Education and Community Development.
My name is Julia Soweto. I'm the Executive Director of Women Empowerment Forum for Lone Mothers, which leads single mothers nationally.
My name is Ashley Nashanti. I'm from Chile University.
Oh, thank you so much. So I think you can see that this is the most balanced team. So the students are all represented, the church is represented, women are represented, traditional leaders are also represented. Our press conference focuses on the Constitution of Zimbabwe, Amendment number 3, 2026. And the gains of your life in the bill. Today I'm here to talk about what Zimbabwe benefits from the Constitution of Zimbabwe Amendment Bill number 3. Not what it changes, not how it works, but what it delivers. Because at the end of the day, no citizen wakes up caring about constitutional clauses. It's constitution. Constitutional amendment is not a sign of instability. It is a France amended its constitution 24 times since 1958. As recently as 2024, they amended Article 25 to reform how their parliament operates. South Africa has amended its constitution 18 times since 1996. In 2013, they passed the 18th amendment to strengthen the role of traditional leaders. Kenya amended its constitution in 2023 to restructure its cabinet. Rwanda amended its constitution in 2015. Uganda amended theirs in 2017. Tanzania is actively considering major amendments. Even the United States, whose constitution is deliberately difficult to amend, has done so 27 times. The most recent amendment was ratified in 1992, more than 2 centuries after the Constitution was written. And I must tell you that there are ongoing discussions in the United States of America where they are working towards bringing up a bill to remove term limits, obviously, after seeing the rapid development in the People's Republic of China, and after discovering that over time they are deep in over $20 trillion debt due to this abrupt change of leadership. And right now, at this very moment, multiple nations are engaged in the same process. Nigeria is in the process of amending its constitution to create state police, with its Senate committed to delivering the amendment by the end of 2026. Malaysia is currently refining its constitution, Bill 2026, to separate the roles of Attorney General and Public Prosecutor. Thailand is proceeding with a constitutional rewrite. Ghana is conducting a comprehensive constitutional review. Tanzania has been directed by the African Court on Human and People's Rights on March 6, 2026, to amend Article 4.1 of 7 of its constitution within 1 year. Constitutional amendments are underway across Africa and around the world, in mature democracies and developing nations as ours. So when we hear voices suggesting that Zimbabwe should not amend its constitution, we must ask, on what basis are France, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Malaysia, and Kazakhstan all acting improperly? Are they all destabilizing themselves? The evidence says otherwise. They are doing precisely what responsible nations do, refining their systems to meet the needs of their people. We must also be clear about our motive. Those who oppose constitutional amendments are often those who benefit from the flaws in the existing system. Inefficiency saves them. Conflict saves them. A system that produces disputes rather than delivery, that is where they thrive. Our core message, what this bill brings. This bill brings you faster justice. This bill brings you stronger rights protection. This bill brings you completed projects you can actually use. This bill brings you fairer elections in past. This bill brings you smarter laws that work in practice. This bill brings you a voice for your community. This bill brings you less waste, more results. This bill brings you stability that creates jobs. Many people, when they hear about the bill, they focus on advancing their hatred to the president, who happens to be an individual. But this bill does not focus mainly on president. In fact, it does not focus on President Idi Mnangagwa, but on advancing our systems. The first clause that this bill seeks to amend is the Gender Commission integration. The problem is, currently, rights complaints are handled by separate commissions, which can create delays, duplication, and inefficient use of resources. Treating gender separately from human rights reduces focus and slows resolution, particularly for women and vulnerable groups. What does the bill seek to do? Clause 18 and 19 merge the Human Rights Commission and the Gender Commission into a single unified institution. Why do we need that? Harmonizing the two commissions strengthens governance. Resources and expertise are combined. Cases are handled efficiently, and gender issues are addressed centrally as part of human rights protection. What does this mean to you? One institution, one process, faster resolution. Gender and human rights are treated together, ensuring complaints are handled effectively and justice is delivered promptly. So women are in total support of this. You know, the Office for the Human Rights is down there. The Office for the Gender Commission is up there, up here. You want to make a report, there are two separate issues. You go to Human Rights, they tell you, okay, we're interested in this part, but this other part, go to Gender Commission. You go to Gender Commission, they say, yes, we are taking this part, but this part you must go back there with this letter. Tell them they must deal with this. So this is some kind of creating a one-stop shop. The other clause is on the Attorney General, the qualifications of the Attorney General. The problem that we have is that the Constitution currently requires the Attorney General to have the qualifications of a High Court judge. This is below the level needed for the complexity and importance of the office. The Attorney General advises on major legislation, treaties, and governance decisions, matters that demand the highest legal expertise. The Attorney General sits in the cabinet. So clause 7 raises the qualification threshold, requiring the Attorney General to meet the standard for appointment as a Supreme Court judge. Why do we need this? Deputy Attorney Generals are already equivalent to High Court judges. Aligning the Attorney General's qualifications with the Supreme Court ensures institutional coherence and that the principal legal advisor holds the seniority and expertise appropriate to the office. We cannot have the substantive having the same qualifications with the deputies. What it means for you, legal advice in government decisions comes from someone qualified at the highest level. This strengthens governance, improves decision making on constitutional and national matters, and raises the bar for legal oversight. There is also dissolution of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. The problem that we have is that the Commission completed its mandate to secure peace and unity, but it remains operational, consuming taxpayers' funds. Continuing to fund an institution beyond its purpose, divert resources from schools, clinics, and other essential services. The bill seeks to dissolve the NPRC and transfer any remaining necessary functions to other appropriate institutions. Why do we need this? Streamlining government reduces duplication, eliminates unnecessary administration, and ensures that public funds are used efficiently. What it means for you, more taxpayer money goes to services that matter. Bureaucracy is reduced, programs are more focused, and public resources deliver results. The next clause is on the traditional leaders and politics. The problem is that traditional leaders, chiefs, headmen, village heads know their communities intimately, yet they've been barred from participating in the national political debates. This limits the flow of local knowledge to policy making and prevents communities from having a fully representative voice. The bill seeks to restore the political rights of traditional leaders, allowing them to engage in national discussions and the democratic processes like any other citizens. In the past, I've seen especially members of the opposition party alleging that traditional leaders align with the ruling parties and not with them. So to the members of the opposition, this is the time to celebrate. Traditional leaders are now aligned to align with political parties of their choices, including your political parties that do not win elections or that win elections, I don't know. Why do we need this? Enabling traditional leaders to participate ensures that governance is informed by local realities. Policies and debates reflect the needs of rural communities, and the voice of those closest to local challenges is no longer excluded. What does that mean to you? Rural communities gain stronger representation. Traditional leaders can advocate for local needs, ensuring that issues like water, schools, and infrastructure reach national attention. Your community's voice is heard where it matters most. The next clause is on voter registration. The problem that we have is that thousands of Zimbabweans are at times turned away on election day because their names don't match the voters' roll, even though they have national IDs. After voter registration, there's a process called voter verification. Majority of our people are not quite aware of that process, where you go to the polling station just to check if the name on the national ID is the same as the name on the voter reg. For example, my brother who introduced me here called me Kundishona, and you had to correct him that it's Kandishaya. So if I am Kandishaya and my name appears on the voters roll as Kundishona, then what does this mean? More than 5,000 delays. Young first-time voters, women who changed names, and citizens replacing lost documents are hit hardest. The problem isn't that fraud, it's disconnected government systems. The bill seeks to merge voter registration with the national ID system under the Registrar General. All our details are with the Registrar General. So there won't be any mistake. This solves the problem. This way, your ID and voter registration become one. No more mismatches. No more being turned away. After elections, the losing parties or losing candidates usually takes the blame at the government. You hear somebody saying, of the 300,000 who were turned away, 290,000 were mine. If they had voted, we could have won. What it means, they start now to allege issues of rigging and election fraud. But this is the part of the electoral reforms that matter most in aligning our democracy and in improving it. This means to you, your ID automatically registers you to vote. On election day, your name is there. Your constitutional right to vote is finally guaranteed. There is also a clause on election of president by parliament. You can see that this is part of the amendments. It is not the main. The problem that we have is that since year 2000, every presidential election has faced disputes. 2002, disputed. 2008, disputed, which ended up with us having unit government. 2013, court challenges. 2018, Motlande Commission alleged that there were soldiers on the streets. 2023, opposition rejects results, wrote a letter to SADC, its members to keep their national identity cards safe because SADC was coming for a rerun. Direct winner takes all elections, leaving party with nothing. This fuels disputes, delays progress, and creates tension. The bill seeks to align it in this way. It allows Parliament, the board you elect, to choose the president. And we have seen this in developing countries where we have our people in South Africa because are looking for capacity. And this is creating South Africa in Zimbabwe. So we'll see them also coming back for greener pastures here because it all starts with how people assume political offices. So we are copying exactly zviri muno yemura ikoko ndozvatakuunza kuno. Vote much America. I think this parliament, I think the system, the present day system, deserves an applaud for copying exactly what you dream for. All parties with the seats participate. Losing parties are no longer silenced. For example, Botswana 2024, South Africa 2024, opposition parties were part of no opposition. Zimbabwe, since has been contested. And for those who are alleged rigging of elections, here's an opportunity. If you failed to prove rigging, where maybe more than 4 million people voted, here's an opportunity. Less than 400 people, I think, in the parliament will be voting. If Mabalo target 401, one direct evidence could go reach 1 rubber copy. So for those by chairman rigging, you must celebrate this. So it means there won't be, months of post-election disputes. Every vote still counts through your MP. You have seen it that in certain areas, people may choose an MP from ZANU-PF, but when it comes to president, they put their votes on the opposition. In certain areas, people vote for the president of ZANU-PF, and when it comes to member of parliament, they put someone from the opposition.